Hi everybody, it's Lynn again. How y'all doing? Welcome back to my kitchen. I'm glad to have you here. If you're returning, glad to see you. If this is your first time here, welcome. Hope you like what you see. Today I'm going to be making baby back ribs on the Power Grill. This is my first time to make the ribs on the Power Grill, and so it'll be kind of a test, but I thought I'd take you along for the ride. You might like it, you might want to change things, but at least you'll see how I'm doing it. Now, I had thought about doing another thing, using the Instant Pot to first partially cook the ribs and then finish them up on the Power Grill. Now, I know that I've seen some people use the Instant Pot and then they put the ribs in the oven to finish them off. But I tried ribs in the Instant Pot before, and although I love my Instant Pot, I did not like it for ribs. One of the things about ribs and barbecuing or grilling ribs is that when you cook it slow, that fat melts out, and all that connective tissue, the gristle, also melts down and becomes more delicious actually. But when you cook in the Instant Pot, whatever meat, and I love it for chili, I love it for stews, those kind of things, because the meat gets infused with the flavor so well. But when you cook something where you want the fat to cook out, it's just not going to do it in the Instant Pot. So I decided this time just to try it out, use all of the cooking on the Power Grill. So we're gonna, come along with me and we'll see how it goes. And we'll give you, show you the results in the end. Okay, but before I start messing with all of the meats and everything, let me put on my apron. Now, if you've watched some of my other videos, you know that you're not going to get away without at least one or two little lessons in Spanish. So apron in Spanish is delantal, delantal. Okay, can you remember that? Delantal. Okay, let's get cooking. Vámonos. The grill is outside on the patio, and I've got the temp set to preheat to 350. I'll turn it down after I get the ribs on the grill. I'm starting out with one rack of pork loin back ribs, baby back ribs. This pack is about 2.5 pounds. The one that I'm using today is just a little bit bigger. Of course, this pack of ribs is frozen. The other one I let thaw, and before it was almost completely thawed, I took the back membrane off of the ribs. I think it's a little easier to do when the ribs are not completely thawed out, because that membrane is still a little more solid and is easier to manage. And then just for the space on the grill, I cut the ribs into 3 sections. I had never done this before, but I wanted to try making a brine, or for me more like a marinade, and let the ribs marinate overnight. I used chopped garlic and black pepper. The big thing about it was that I wanted to brine or marinate to get the salt infused rather than sprinkling all in the salt. So I put in a scant 1/4 cup of salt in my liquid. Now, for the liquid, I used, and just because the bottle was open in the refrigerator, I used about 2 cups of cranberry juice. I used a good splash of liquid smoke, and some Worcestershire sauce, and a little bit of soy sauce in there. And I let that stay in the refrigerator. I like to put them in a plastic bag when I marinate. This marinated since yesterday afternoon, so it's been in the fridge for about, I would say, about 18 hours or so. Now I'm going to get this ready and put some rub on it. What I've got here, I just pulled out of my pantry. It's Diamond Dale's world famous spice and rub. It contains no salt and no MSG and is gluten-free. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to salt it. I don't eat a lot of things with too much salt, but meat needs some salt in it. When I looked at other recommendations for brining, a lot of people used a half of cup of salt. For me, I just thought that was too much. And we'll see how it is after it cooks, whether it needs more salt or not. I've taken the ribs out of the marinade, and now I'm going to sprinkle on the rub. So the grill has been heating while I've been getting the ribs ready, and even with just on the outside of the lid, I can tell that it's hot. So let me get those ribs on the grill. One rack of baby rack ribs is about all that is going to fit on the power grill. Yes, I have some space around, but I had to. One of the reasons that I wanted to cut it into 3 pieces was so that I could fit. I tried it out beforehand, and this particular rack was too long. The one that I have in the fridge might fit without cutting, but this one I just needed to cut up. And as you can see, I left the heat on at 350, and one of the things about ribs is low and slow. So I'm going to cut that down, cut the temp down to right now to 250. If I need to adjust that later, I'll do that. I'm going to put the lid on, and we'll check on these a little bit later. The ribs have been on the grill now for about an hour and a half. I haven't changed the heat. I haven't opened the lid. I still have the setting the same as before. I don't know whether you can see the color, but I have it set it at 250. And there is some condensation on the lid, but not too much. So I'm not going to turn on the fan or change it. I'm just going to let them rest on the grill and not turn them over yet. I don't think they need turned over yet. We'll check on them in about a half an hour or so. Okay, I've turned them over. When I've got the bones up, there is a gap in between the lid and the grill. We'll see if that makes a difference if we need to turn the heat up just a tad. The meat side has been cooking for quite a while now, and I'm going to paint the bone side with some of this Sweet Baby Ray's sweet and spicy barbecue sauce. Had the sauce on the bone side now for probably about 30 minutes, and I'm going to turn them over and paint the meat side with the sauce. See, the meat is starting to pull away from the bone, and I'm going to paint this side with some sauce and leave them probably for about another 20 minutes. I brought them inside and they smell so yummy, but I'm going to take some aluminum foil and cover them and let them rest for about 15 minutes. The ribs have been resting now for about 15 minutes. Let's uncover them and check them out. Okay, still nice and warm. And let's see here. Let's see how they pull apart. Let's take one piece. Okay, not pulling apart so well. So I used a knife to cut them apart because I couldn't pull them apart because they're still too hot to pull with my hands, my bare hands. Maybe if I had gloves on, it'd be a different story. All right, now let's see how they taste. I want to show you how done they are. They're well done. Let me try one. Nice and tasty, tender. Hardly any grease. One more bite. As they say in Spanish, para chuparse los dedos. In other words, finger licking good. So how would I rate them after doing them this first time? I guess I'd rate them about a B+. Actually, I want to change that grade to an A. After I let the ribs rest for several hours, I stuck them in the fridge, and then I warmed them up for a late supper. And so I had another part of them. They were excellent. All the flavors had kind of melded together, and they were so good. They are so good. I'll still have some left for tomorrow. One of the things that I found out with the Power Grill is that it does take time. You have a different situation than you do with a propane or a charcoal grill. You just don't get that heat, okay? Even if you're cooking ribs, you don't have as much secondary heat as you do with that kind of grill. And also I would say, you know, it's good. I started these in the morning about 10 o'clock thinking it would be about, you know, ready for lunch, even a late lunch. Next time I'll start them about 1:30 in the afternoon when I'm not hungry. And probably will take about 4 hours, 4.5 hours. And if they get done more quickly, I'll just wrap them in aluminum foil and let them rest until it's time to eat. But I think they're very, very good. So I'm gonna get to eating some more of those ribs. I've got some potato salad and some coleslaw, store-bought nonetheless, but I'm gonna have a nice little lunch even though it's mid-afternoon. Thanks so much everybody for stopping by today. If you have questions that you'd like to ask about the Power Grill or about grilling the ribs, you know, put those down in the comments below and I'll try to answer them as best I can. Again, I'm not an expert on the grill. I'm just trying to, you know, show you folks. I know that some people have been contemplating whether to buy one of these grills or not. I can't make that decision for you, but I can show you what I've been doing and maybe it'll work for you or maybe, you know, you'll make some other choice. Anyway, if you like this video, please put a like down below. I appreciate that. And if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I'd really be happy about that too. Anyway, thanks so much. See you soon. Nos vemos. Adios.